I don't know how they're going to sell us on this card, because the last time we saw Stipe, he was limping at UFC 295 to go out and watch the fights, walk to the cage, and it almost made me think that maybe he using a cane or something. We got a preview looking at UFC 309. I gotta be honest with y'all, man, at first glance, they could have just sold us on the last 2 fights, bro, and kept the rest of this stuff. The early prelims, the only fight that really is standing out, there's nothing.
There is.
Mickey Gall, I mean, he's 7-6, bro. Who on the early prelims?
Oh, never mind, not the early.
Okay, for the prelims, okay, we do have Nikita and Azamat. That's interesting just because the light heavyweight division needs something to help move forward.
And they're both win streaks.
Now, I will give them this note. Jonathan Martinez and Marcus McGee is very interesting. That's going to be a nice one.
Yeah, because Marcus, man, you got to look out for this guy. He been knocking everybody out.
Yeah, he been very impressive, and Jonathan been holding his own, and so we'll see what he can do. You got Jim Miller versus Damon Jackson, 2 tough guys. It ain't really relevant for the division, but it'll be a fun fight more than likely.
Damon comes from featherweight, man, so he's coming up from a different weight class.
But we do get Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig, so now we get to see, does Bo actually want to take this fight to the ground and play that game with Craig? Craig is tricky. Craig will get you. He got Magomed. Why everybody want to act like Magomed on this crazy win streak, like he didn't get submitted with 1 second left to go.
Yeah, Jamal Hill too.
Yeah. So there's a world where if Bo is not paying attention and he not careful, Paul Craig can get him. But we know Paul Craig's limitations though.
Yeah, if Paul can get out that first round, he has a chance.
But I will say though, I didn't think about that. But this could be a fight that can really show how nice Bo Nickel hands really is. Because you know, if there's anybody to show off your hands against, it's Paul Craig. Oscar the Grouch can go out there and look like Muhammad Ali on Paul Craig, the way his hands be looking. Then we got
Chris Weidman. You skipped that one.
Oh yeah, Chris Weidman
and Eric Anders.
We gonna watch it, but I mean, what are we doing, man?
Yeah, I mean,
they gonna put Chris Weidman on. I get it, New York card. I get it, I understand, but it doesn't move the division forward anyway. It'll just be interesting to see how it plays out. Then we get Vivian versus Karine. Is that fight relevant, or is it just there? I'm trying to figure out, why is this the 3rd fight?
I don't know, man, because Vivian, she's real athletic, man, but she don't fight to her full potential. Hopefully this is a fight where she actually can put everything together, because she's super athletic, super explosive. Sometimes fighters, they find ways to win against her. If you just look at all her tools, like, she probably should be undefeated.
Well, she fighting Karine Silva, so I don't know if that's gonna happen on that night. Now we get into the co-main event: Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler. Charles is saving this, but I'm gonna tell you this: they trying to get Charles the fastest path to a title, because he lost to Armand, but he's one of the biggest pay-per-view draws right now. And Michael Chandler, I mean, what are we doing here, man? The guy sat out for years, waiting on a Conor fight, wasting time, wasting resources, a waste of the Ultimate Fighter season. There's a world where he can really put hands on Charles real early, real quick. Now, I will say this now, stylistically, Charles' worst round gonna be round 1, because you know he's gonna get dropped. But it's already happened, didn't it?
But the thing is, at one point, he came the closest to beating Charles when Charles was on the win streak. Nobody could beat Charles, man.
But I'll be honest, I don't think Michael has grown since that fight, and Charles has gotten better, or at least stayed the same, which was still better than Michael Chandler.
Yeah, but Charles still has holes in his game that fits into Michael's strengths.
Dude, I'm gonna be real.
I think, dude, Michael has puncher's chance, but he can land it against Charles, if I'm gonna just be honest. See, Charles ain't Conor McGregor. You know what I'm saying? Charles, sometimes his defense is not there at all.
But these are the type of fights that Charles deliver on, if I'll be completely honest with you. These are the type of fights that he win. Because you got to realize he almost submitted Armand in the first round. And realistically, bro, I could see this fight being over in 1 round. Either way it go. But we'll see what happens. We'll make another video on the timeline of Michael Chandler wasting everybody's time waiting on the Conor McGregor fight. And then in the main event, we get Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic. I don't know how they're going to sell us on this card, because the last time we saw Stipe, he was limping at UFC 295 to go out and watch the fights, walk to the cage, and it almost made me think that maybe he using a cane or something to walk at the house. The way he was looking, because I was like, okay, if you're struggling that bad to walk in public, I know you have to have some type of assistance at the house, because I know you're trying to show strength to walk even as gingerly as you're walking right now. So I know it's got to be worse at the house. It got to be. So Jon Jones got some explaining to do, man. I'm gonna be real. I would need to see some footage of. Dude, is there footage of Stipe training? Is there anything?
That's some stuff, man. Stipe, his life is so private. We don't know if he had surgery. We don't know if he just got injured. If it's something that's extreme. If it's something that's mild. It could be something that's not really a big deal.
But the fact is, this fight coming up, man, this the next big pay-per-view. 309 is next, and I ain't seen the man hit pads. I guess I gotta go do some research and see what's going on, what's out there, but I ain't seen no grappling. I ain't seen nothing. And then everything that they can use to promote Stipe, it's got to be pre-Francis, the rematch. It's got to be everything that happened before that because he hadn't fought since then, and then he got beat in that fight. I mean, are you going to promote what he did to Francis?
He did hurt Francis in the second fight. And
no, we talking about what actually happened. Like the result, he lost.
Yeah.
You know, so are they going to show us what he did to Alistair Overeem?
Yeah, a lot changed, man.
Are they going to show us pre-COVID highlights of Stipe Miocic to try to get us excited for this card? Okay, 2023, the fight with Jon Jones was canceled. 2021, he got knocked out by Francis Ngannou. In 2020, he beat...
Hey, man.
Oh, he beat Daniel Cormier during COVID. Okay, I guess Daniel Cormier during COVID.
Yeah, but do you think Jon Jones can beat two fighters?
Okay.
In the UFC heavyweight division and say he the heavyweight GOAT?
That's why he's trying to beat Stipe.
Because that's not fair, man. Because in my opinion, I think DC is closer to being the heavyweight.
Yeah, but he already beat DC though.
Not heavyweight though.
It don't, man. At a certain point, it don't matter, bro. Because now we blurring lines.
You beat Cyril Gane and Stipe who ain't fought in 4 years, and you the UFC heavyweight GOAT. you get what I'm saying?
Like you might be the GOAT of all time, but
you're not
heavyweight GOAT is kind of.
And on top of that, Thomas right there in his prime, and you're not fighting him. No, you're not the heavyweight GOAT. Even if you beat Stipe.
Because Tom probably looking at Jon Jones the way John looking at Stipe, like a lion looking at a wounded gazelle, licking his chops. That's probably what's going on. So, and it's like, even then, dude, Stipe fought one time in 2019 against Daniel Cormier. Before that, okay, he had 2 fights this year. He fought Daniel and Francis in 2018. So really, he was fighting once a year from 2019 to COVID. And then he ain't fought since then. And it's like,
I'm not gonna lie, I would have liked to see Jon fight more heavyweight fights. I know Curtis Blades lost and stuff, man, but it would have been nice to see Jon fight like Curtis, you know what I'm saying, or somebody else, man. But it's 2 heavyweight fights and then you retire.
Hey, speaking of, it would have been cool to get that Dominic Reyes and Anthony Smith fight on the Jon Jones card because me and you had a video that we were going to work on. We had a video topic of what if Dominic Reyes had trained with Jon Jones, because who better to get your mind right than Jon Jones, right? And then it would have also probably helped him heal from the way that fight went down and get over it for real. And what if Jon Jones and Dominic Reyes shared a training camp, and that was what would spark Dominic to go on a win streak and maybe even get the belt back because Jon Jones gone? Wouldn't that have been a crazy storyline, bro? So it would have been nice to see that happen, or at least them fight on the same card. But it looked like Dominic Reyes will be fighting Anthony Smith on UFC 310.